There was a time when you believed you had to follow the rules. Rules that were never truly yours, were they? Rules that crept in, unnoticed, whispered from voices that were never your own. And yet for so long you carried them, like weights wrapped in invisible chains, tighter and tighter with every step. And now you begin to wonder, who decided these rules? Who said you had to follow them? And who told you you couldn't just let them go? Because what if those rules, those limits, those walls were never real? What if the door was unlocked this whole time? Because for so long you thought control was the answer. That if you just held on a little tighter, if you just stayed small enough, if you just made yourself invisible enough, you'd be safe. But now something shifts, because you see it now, don't you? It was never the world holding you back. It was never life that kept you frozen. It was only the illusion of those beliefs. The ones that told you it wasn't safe to feel, that it wasn't safe to express, that it wasn't safe to take up space. But those beliefs, they're not you. They never were. They're echoes, ghosts of old voices that no longer have power here. And now you decide to release, to dissolve, to set yourself free. Because now you see, really see, what was hidden before. And with every breath, every word, every moment, you begin to remember. You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to shrink. You were never meant to live trapped in someone else's fear. You were meant to feel. You were meant to express. You were meant to create and to expand and rise. And the truth is, every step you take, it's already enough. Every action, no matter how small, it reshapes your reality. Every moment of courage rewrites the story. Because now you choose. You choose to live. Not through someone else's doubt, but through your own power. You choose to move forward, not waiting for permission, but knowing you're already enough. And what happens now, that's up to you. Because the door is open, and freedom is already yours. So what will you create next? Because there was a moment long ago, before you knew what the rules were, before you were told how things should be, before you carried the weight of expectations that were never yours to hold. And if you close your eyes now, if you listen deeply, you can almost hear it, that whisper of a self, free, untamed, limitless. And yet somewhere along the way, a voice not your own slipped into your mind. A voice that spoke of limits, of rules, of control. A voice that made you hesitate. A voice that told you to be careful, to be small, to hold back. And you did. Because you were wise. Because you believed in safety. Because you thought, maybe, just maybe, that voice knew something you didn't. But now, you see the truth. Now you begin to wonder. Who was that voice really? Who decided those limits? And why did you ever believe that they were real? Because for so long, you believed holding back was protection. That checking out was the safest way to exist. That silencing yourself was the price of acceptance. But now, something's shifting. Because you see it now, don't you? The illusion is cracking. And as it does, you feel something powerful awakening inside. Because what if those fears, they weren't even yours? What if you were never broken? What if you were never lost? What if you'd just been following a map that was never meant for you? And now you choose to burn the old map. Because you're not lost. You never were. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And the path forward is yours to create. Because now you see desire in a new way. Not as something to be feared. Not as something to suppress. But as something sacred. Something powerful. Something that was never meant to be judged. Because who decided that only the big steps mattered? Who said the small steps weren't powerful? Who made you believe that you had to earn the right to enjoy life? Because you were born worthy. You were born enough. You were born deserving of joy, of love, of peace. And now you step into a new truth. A truth where every small step is a revolution. Where every word spoken is an act of courage. Where every moment lived is an expression of power. Because now you choose to drop the weight that was never yours, to release the fears that were never real, to dissolve the limits that were never true. And as you breathe in this truth, as you feel it deep within your being, you realize something profound. You're free. You always have been free. And the world is yours to create. So what happens next? That's up to you. Because the door is open, and freedom is already yours.